I have filmed this video perhaps a gazillion times. I filmed this intro like 3 times. Hi guys, it's me Serenity and I am back with another video. I have some concerns to make before we get on to the video. So, one, I know you can see my shadow. I am currently using my phone flashlight because my ring light is out of batteries and I need to replace them. Second thing, I did get new lights compared to my other 2 videos. I got these lights and I will turn on my ceiling light, but I sort of kind of want to convey, show off these lights because they're so pretty, and I was sort of kind of inspired
by Stranger Things to put them up the first season, I think it is. The first or second season. I'm pretty sure it's the first season.
But, so sorry that I didn't post on last week. I actually filmed this video days before last Wednesday, and when I went to go edit them, I absolutely hated everything. I hated the lighting, I hated the audio, I hated everything about it, and so I scrapped it. And now here I am on June 23rd filming everything again. So yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Now, things we're going to be going over is things that I realized in my journey of witchcraft. I do have my notes on my laptop. It's something that's what I'm using to film this video with. So, I wanted to get into some things that I realized, some things I wish people told me about. Some of these things I was told, some of these things I had to learn on my own. So I just feel like it'll be sort of kind of helpful. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is that TikTok is literally the worst source to go to. I consider TikTok a place where people post their opinions, their own beliefs. So I'm like, if you would go to research on a platform where there's many opinions, there's many beliefs, then I feel like it won't be a very valuable source in your practice. Now, what I will say is that TikTok is a very good place to go to if you want to learn about new things, and have topics to research on. But when it comes to actually learning, I would not recommend TikTok as a source of research when it comes to your practice. It's like the worst place to go to. Now, the second one is witchcraft is not portrayed like how it is in movies. Like, growing up, we'd see the 3 witches, they have the broomsticks, they have the big green faces with the mole and the big noses cackling over a cauldron. It's definitely not like how it's portrayed in the movies. It's a lot different. I thought it was sort of kind of like that, but when I got into it, it was like, if I'm being honest, total opposite. And don't be scared to get into it because of the movies. Like, there's some movies that are somewhat realistic, but then there's some that are over exaggerated and just for theatrical purposes. The third one is always learn about the history of witchcraft. In school, we always learn about the Salem witch trials, which I feel like it's a great place to start, but there's so much more. There's so many books that portray it, there's so many videos that portray it, there's so many podcasts. All you have to do is research. Now, that's my 4th topic. Research is so important. 90% of your time, your craft, before you get to the big stuff, is going to be research. If you don't want to Google it and you want to be handheld information, then you're not meant to be practicing. Now, the 5th one is that creators do not have to hand feed you information. They do not have the option to hand feed you information for your practice when it's based off of belief that they truly believe in, because it's going to be different from yours. There's no right way of practice, there's no wrong way of practice. Therefore, if you don't want to research, you shouldn't practice at all. Law of assumption is so much better than law of attraction. Law of attraction is I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. We all heard that. We all heard that affirmation in TikTok, right? Even though law of attraction does work for some people, for me, I find it horrible compared to law of assumption. Law of assumption is basically like, I know I'm gonna get it, so there's no bother even there's no worry about stressing over it. I read this podcast that's basically like,
it's like when you buy something online, right? It's already yours. You paid for it. You are just waiting for it to come. That is my favorite manifesting thing. It is already yours. You're just waiting for it to come. You're just waiting for it to come, and that's okay. And you know it'll come, and you know that this is like a good ass, like, reliable service. So you got this. There's nothing to worry about. Like, I promise you.
You put it out there, and just assume that's gonna come, because we have the power to do that. Now, 7th one, labels in your practice does not matter. Like, I label myself as an eclectic witch, if that's how you say it. You can have different interests in your practice, and you do not need to be put under one label. In which I feel like when I was first getting into it, I had a lot of trouble trying to label my practice. But labels don't really matter. It's your practice for a reason. You personalize your practice. You can be under whatever label you put yourself under. Learn your abilities before jumping into anything. So that's like learning about yourself, so that's like doing shadow work, learning about your abilities, your intuition, so that's like balancing your chakras, getting into your chakras and stuff like that. Always learn before jumping into anything, because it can make your process a lot, I wouldn't say longer, I would just say more complex, because I'm like, oh, if I would have done this in the beginning, I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I mean, you're gonna have to worry about it always, but it won't be as much if you just jump into it and don't rush. The Devil and the Death card are not bad cards. If I'm being honest, if you go on my website, in my bio, on my business account on Instagram, I showed that my favorite card is the Death card. Now with me, the Death card to me usually symbolizes an end of an old chapter, new beginnings, rebirth, transformation, change. It's not like you're gonna die physically. You're gonna die spiritually, emotionally. You know, when you die, you let go of the old things and something else starts. That's what it means. It's not a bad card. It doesn't mean you're gonna die. The Devil. This card is very critical, because in the Rider-Waite it looks very scary, but in this deck it doesn't look as scary, but it is somewhat intimidating, just because people associate Devil with bad, which it can be, but I usually see it as negative. So with the Devil, it's obsession, bondage, lust, negative emotions, and being trapped, being caged. So those are not bad cards. If I'm being honest, those are my two favorite cards. 10th one, trust your gut feeling. There is so many times where my intuition has saved me. I will go into so many story terms about that, because there's not so many, but dozens and dozens, but there are times where my intuition and my gut feeling has saved me, and I'm like, God, it could have went, something bad would have happened if I didn't trust it, you know? So I'm like, always trust your gut feeling. Most of the time you're right, most of the time I am right, and I do have that confidence to say that, just because I know my abilities. And that's why, for one of the past things that I realized, that you need to work on your abilities in order to know when you can detect something that's good or detect something that's bad. So 11, closed practices. If anyone tells you that closed practices don't exist, you need to block them. Closed practices exist, and there's so many creators that are like, don't use white sage, Don't use Palo Santo because those are for indigenous and native cultures. Research about what's an open practice and what's a closed practice. If someone tells you that closed practices don't exist, they need to not practice, because I don't know what's that. Now, 12. Shadow work and healing affects your craft so much. Shadow work is like, shadow work, it just makes it so much easier. Getting into all those crevices, things about yourself that you don't like, things that you typically don't show people. Because like, if you don't deal with it, it's eventually going to come out in a bad way. And my quarantine experience was the perfect example of that. Please do shadow work. There's so many different ways to do it. You could use voice memos, record yourself, do TikToks, do prompts. There's so many prompts. I did use my tarot cards.
Like that.
Like I said, there's so many ways to use shadow. There's so many ways to do shadow work now. Just don't avoid it. Like me, I did avoid it, but we're doing it now, and it affects your craft so much more than you think. Your intrusive thoughts do not manifest. And it's the same thing as saying you do not need to be in a high vibration to manifest. Listen to this podcast from Spiritually Connected Podcast. Spiritually Connected Readings. Love them so much. I will mention them more on at the end of the video. But they're like,
manifesting is really, really important, but I also think it's important to keep in mind that mental health is not something you can manifest away in any way, shape, or form, and it can really affect a lot of people's manifesting. I personally, I have anxiety, and so I have intrusive thoughts sometimes. I don't think that intrusive thoughts manifest. Some people disagree, but I personally think that why would they manifest? It's a chemical imbalance in your brain, so why would that manifest?
Because I was always told that you need to be in a high vibration to manifest, but there's been multiple times where I was in a low vibration and I manifested exactly what I want and exactly to be here today. No. You do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on tools and herbs and books and crystals to be considered a witch. Next one. Just because tarot is based on intuition doesn't mean you should avoid learning the actual meaning of the tarot cards. Now, this is mostly just for people that, like me, that usually gets readings on their For You page. I'm pulling out some cards because typically on TikTok, they're mostly love readings because everyone wants to learn about their love life. So I'm just gonna pull out a few cards and we're going to get on to the fake scam reading. They'd be like, oh my god, your soulmate. They love you. They make you so happy. They make you feel so fulfilled and get you out of all the mess you've been through. They come towards you with love. They want to unite with you. They want to have something. They want to marry you. That's not the meaning. Literally, this is definitely what it's saying. Okay, with those cards, there's some disharmony going on in your relationship. There's a lot of problems going on. It could be a lot of arguments. You're very much victimizing yourself for these arguments. For oh my god, is this happening because I'm happy? Is this happening because of me? Did I do something wrong? You're victimizing yourself. You're getting yourself into an emotional train wreck. And I love this card so much better on the Rider-Waite Tarot but I do like it on this card, on this tarot, on this deck as well. But anyway, it's like you're literally victimizing yourself, and it's causing you so much depression, so much sadness, and so much heartbreak, and so it literally feels like there's eventually going to be a breakup, and you're going to be so heartbroken. Learn the meetings just to be safe, because they'll be like, oh my god, your lover, they're coming back, they want to offer you something, but it could literally be the Three Swords, which is like heartbreak, betrayal, literally being stabbed in the heart. So I'm like, I went to a big rampage about that, because it really makes me mad that people get tarot cards just for false accusations, false meaning, to get people on their head. I used to be one of those people before I got into tarot, and like have these false meanings to the cards. Like, learn the cards. Learn the cards. I went on a big rampage about that, so that's avoid. Avoiding mistakes in your craft is something you can't be avoided. There's been multiple times where I've messed up, not said the wrong things, but believed the wrong things, or things I just simply weren't up to how I feel because of, false TikTok. They're not going to avoid making mistakes. Like, I know Chaotic Witch Aunt, they made a hex lemon or something, I believe.
Remember when I said that I hexed someone in high school and it backfired because I never managed to bury it? My family just found it in the gutter.
Oh god. It's a lemon. Burning the curse that I put on someone in high school that backfired on my family because it fell in the gutter and we never took care of it.
No, it's underneath
the
sticks I just did.
The other side. Okay, because your phone's like at red. I don't want it. It's nice and warm. It is nice.
Don't remember the whole story, but it's like they learn from that. You're gonna learn from mistakes. Live, it's like learn and move on. Like, you're gonna come across bad spells that don't work out, and stuff like that. So, can't be avoided, sadly. Next one. Meditation is so underrated. Now, I used to be one of those girls, like,
oh my god, I don't want to do meditation. It's so boring. I'm gonna end up falling asleep. Yada yada yada.
But I got into meditation about, I want to say 3 months ago, and my life has turned a quick 360. Like, so next, you do not need methods to manifest. All you need is your thoughts. You don't need subliminals. You don't need to do the 3x33, the 55x5. You do not need to do manifestation challenges. You don't need to do anything. You can be like, let's say I'm manifesting $20, right? I can be like, I'm gonna get $20. Let it go. Law of manifestation. I know I'm gonna get $30. I'm gonna get $30 no matter what. All you need is your thoughts. You don't need any challenges. But you don't need any of those to manifest, if I'm being honest. I thought you need like the 369 to manifest. But you don't even like. The only thing I would say that you need is scripting, but if I'm being honest, you don't. Next one. Everyone's journey is different. The last tip is take your time. You cannot rush yourself into doing spells. You cannot rush yourself for being into deities, or being into the Fae, or being into anyone else. Do not mess with the Fae or gnomes. Those are incredibly dangerous. I'm so scared that I even mentioned them. But do not rush yourself into anything that you're not ready for. Like, there's no way a month-old witch is going to be into love spells and banishing magic that quick, which I think you should definitely get into banishing, cleansing, protecting, all that first before you get into anything else. But what I'm saying here is just take your time in your practice, personalize your practice, and everything's different, really. I realized that a lot, and my practice isn't the same as a raging witches or chaotic aunts or even Max, mahogany. It's like completely different. So I decided to also include a segment of my books, my book recommendations, as well as creators and apps and things that I think that'll be helpful. So that's the next segment of this video. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified for every time I post. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will leave those at the description and on the screen, I think. Probably not. Annyeong, best vie, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Pour plein d'autres gens, c'est la magie, l'amour, les baguettes, Paris.